What's going on YouTube? It's Jesse coming back to you with another video, and in this video I'm going to be explaining why inbound closing is still a great way to quit your 9-to-5. I'm going to teach you how to get your first client, what's the best niches to get into if you're brand new, have zero experience inbound closing, what script you should use, and how to ultimately practice it. You are definitely not going to want to miss this video. If you're not part of the Facebook group, go get involved. It's the #1 group for all things creating your own low ticket or high ticket course ascension funnel, becoming an email copywriter for clients if you have nothing to sell, or becoming an inbound closer for clients if you have nothing to sell either. Back to the video. So the first thing I want to teach you is how to get your first client. You need one client. You don't need two, you don't need three, you only need one, because you make so much money from one client. Now, you might get a shitty client when you're starting out. If you have no experience, you're probably going to have to settle for a client that has less lead flow, but at least you won't be stressed out about performing, because if you go try to target clients that are like messing around with Cole Gordon, Taylor Welch, there ain't no way you're going to be able to compete when you're brand new, have zero sales experience under your belt. You've got to find a client that is willing to put up with your non-experience, but you only need one. And let's just say that client is just trickling calls over to you. That gives you time to work on something else. And that whole time you're building experience, you're probably making enough that you can work fully remote and not have to have another job, but you're not quite making as much as someone that's been doing inbound closing for years and they're already making $30,000 a month. This is how I was able to quit my job. I basically was doing a mixture of things. I was doing inbound closing, I was doing copywriting, I was doing client work, helping them grow their coaching companies, helping them manage their funnels. So I'm just basing all this on what happened to me and what has allowed me to be free. Well, let's get into my screen. I'll show you the best ways to get clients in descending order. All right, so what you're going to want to do, #1, this is the fastest way to just throwing mud at the wall. You can basically start joining Facebook groups that have your ideal customer, which would be a client, which would be someone that's going to allow you to close their inbound deals. And the niches that you're going to want to target are going to be digital marketing agencies, so businesses that provide services for other businesses, so specifically B2B. Because when you try to go B2C, which is coaches and consultants, it's not the same thing. Coaches and consultants are more for selling a course or a coaching program. They're a little bit more sweaty when it comes to close rates, what's your past experience, but a digital marketing agency isn't going to care as much because the sales aren't usually as sweaty. But even having said all that, you can still experiment trying to get clients in either one, in coaches and course sellers and agencies. But I would try to start hitting up clients that are more in the agency style business model. You're just basically, all you're doing here is finding a remote sales job. That's really all there is to it. That will provide you with the leads. And what you can do too, to spice up the offer to the potential client, is say, hey, I only want 8% of each close. Find out what they normally close with, and then undercut the competition. But you don't have to say it like that. You don't say, I have no experience. What you do is you approach the client, you have your social media set up that you look like an inbound closer, obviously. You want to look the part. So let's say your Facebook account, that's the avenue you're using to reach out. You would go update your Facebook account with a new banner, copy my profile, make a banner that looks badass, all about inbound closing. My banner wouldn't be the same as yours, but make it sure people know when they land on your profile, because you're going to be hitting them up via Facebook, right? Make sure they know you're an inbound closer, right? Don't have a stupid ass profile picture and expect people to hire you. Look professional, your banner should be on point, and then what you do is you approach business owners and say, hey, I'm an inbound closer looking for work. I noticed you have a high ticket offer. Even if they don't have one, who cares? Just say it anyway. You can't really you don't have all this time to be making sure that they have it. Do your best to figure out if they have a high ticket offer, but if they're an agency, they're a coach, they probably do. I'm looking for work. You could even split test, the verbiage saying, hey, I don't have a ton of experience, but I have a sales script. I've been practicing it hardcore. I'm willing to work for less than, I'm willing to work for 8%. Would you give me a shot? And this reminds me of when I was first starting out, like in my engineering career. I handed out probably 25 to 50 resumes before I got my job. So it's a numbers game. So who cares you don't have the experience? Who cares about all that? Just concentrate on the numbers. But each time you do put your foot forward, try not to look like an idiot. Like, just because it's a numbers game doesn't mean you should just blast out the same dumbass message. You should try to look the part, your profile, and really hone in your message. Hey, I'm an inbound closer. I'm looking for work. I love your product. Do you have any potential roles available for closing your deals? I don't have a huge amount of experience, but I have my own script that I've been practicing with other closers, and I think I could really sell your product for you. And what's going to happen is you're just going to accidentally stumble on a business that's willing to give you a shot, because it's a pain in the ass getting high quality salespeople. And what will happen is that agency will give you a shot because they're having issues with their current sales reps. Oh, you only want 8%, and we're paying 15% to these people, and we're having a hard time keeping the sales rep because they're always quitting because they're trying to go get better opportunities because they know their worth. You starting out can scoop up that kind of deal. These big businesses have sales reps coming and going all the time. That's usually what happens with these high-paid sales reps is they get cocky, they quit, they're always looking for the next best opportunity. That's where you come in. You hop into a role where they're having a hard time keeping sales reps because they don't want to pay enough, and you come in, take the low-hanging fruit role just to get your feet wet. That's why it's critical that you have that mentality when you're reaching out. You can be honest with them. Be like, hey, I don't have a lot of experience, but I'm willing to hustle, make less money from you. Give me a shot. But the best way to do it is you become their friend on Facebook. So you come into a group like this, let's say, and you start friending people that would be potential clients. So here's a good example. You go to members, and then you go to members with things in common, and you friend these people. And you want to friend these people because they have mutual friends. If you start friending everyone else like that they don't have things in common with you, Facebook will give you a warning that you can't do that. So you want to only do members with things in common, friend them. If they accept your friend request, then you would shoot them a voice message to be like, hey, Scott, I saw your product. It's awesome. I'm an inbound closer. I'm looking for a new sales gig. I don't have a lot of experience, but I'm willing to put in the work and make less money for you. I could start full time. Is this something that would interest you? Are you even looking for closers right now? So that's option number one. That's what I would do if you're just trying to get a role as fast as you can. And I would send max 30 friend requests a day. Don't go any higher than 30. If it's a new Facebook account, do not do 30. Do like 1 day 1, 2 day 2, 3 day 3. If you're brand new to Facebook. If you're not, then you can get away with starting out probably like 5 your first day. Make sure to space these friend requests out at least 5 minutes apart. Don't be doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all in 5 seconds. Space them apart. Here's some other groups I'm going to show you just rapid fire that you should go get inside, answer the questions to get inside, and just start friending people and reaching out with voice messages. And you can also post in the group, but the problem with posting in the group is you got to be careful that you don't like piss off the group owner. So be really diligent to figure out the group rules before you start posting in the group. And most of these groups will not give a shit if you're posting about wanting an inbound closer role because you're not selling something. If you're trying to sell something, yeah, it'll ban you out of the group. But if you're not trying to sell something and you're just trying to become an inbound closer, hey, I'm looking for a new role, I'm looking for a job, it's a whole different story. Though I would say that again, be careful with that because some groups, they might actually get mad at that. I wouldn't see most of them doing that, but they might. So you got to be careful. Make sure you read the rules of the group. They have their rules lying around somewhere inside the group once you're inside. Even when you join, too, they usually show you their rules as well. Make sure you read up on the rules before you start posting at the top of their group. And then you're getting all these eyeballs on it. And then one of the admins sees it and then bans you out of the group. Make sure you know the rules. And then if you want to post if you want to post that you're looking for work, make sure it has a pink background. Pink backgrounds are like the number one post on Facebook. They just catch the eye and people will respond like clockwork. Here's another group, 7-figure selling. Sequence, this is Cole Gordon's group. You might have a hard time getting your post approved. But he basically sells, he will sell you how to get a job. So you'll have to pay money to get a role from him, which I don't recommend you do. Obviously, you're trying to get your first client. Cole Gordon's going to be expecting a huge close rate, experience, all that. So you're not going to try to hit him up for a role. Try to get your own role on your own. Another group, go to groups that are full of your ideal client that you want to close for. Coaches and core seller groups, digital marketing agency groups, all that internet stuff. If they're an internet business already and they're selling courses or coaching programs or high ticket services, that's the kind of business owner you want to hit up. Another group, inbound closer. This is more for people that want to learn how to close deals, which I have a video on my YouTube channel showing you how to close deals with the exact script that you should use. I'll have that link in the description somewhere. They have the whole script on how to close your own deals. You don't even have to get the course that they sell. They sell like a $100 course. You don't got to get that course. Just go to that video I made. That's the script you should be using. Here's another good group to get involved. It's a bunch of agencies that are trying to use cold email. So they're agencies, right? And they have deals that they're closing. Another group, agency hypergrowth. There's going to be a bunch of agencies in here. Another group of coaches and course sellers. Another group of people that are trying to learn better sales techniques. So these would be more salespeople. So this group might not be the best for figuring out how to get a client. Another group, sales agency. So this might not be the best group too. Now that I look at it, this is for training people how to become a sales rep. So they're probably not going to find your ideal client here. You might, but you're going to have a lot of competition in this group. Still, don't let that stop you. Don't let competition stop you. Remember, you got to give the benefits of why they should hire you versus all these other sales reps. You're going to expect less money. If you're charging like 8% and you're willing to work full time and take all their calls, that's a pretty good offer because they're paying you barely anything. It's decent. Let's say you're selling a $3,000 program and you're getting paid 8%. That's like $200 and something per sale you close that you didn't have to generate the lead. At least you're going to be able to pay your bills and be free from corporate America while you build up other stuff, So that's what I would do. The next way that I would use to get clients, if this isn't striking your fancy or you want to add another way to get clients, is to cold email the clients. So you would basically figure out their email addresses that you're hitting up via Instagram or LinkedIn. So you'd find the people on Facebook, find their name, then go over to LinkedIn or Instagram and figure out their email address. A lot of people put their email addresses on their Instagram accounts. So you find their Instagram, get their email address from it, literally cold email them from your personal email account. Be like, hey, my name is Jesse. I'm looking for say the exact same thing I've been saying this whole call. And then what you do is, if you're going to LinkedIn, you would get a scraping tool to scrape their email address off of LinkedIn. So a good one is Contact Out. I have it right up here. Contact Out. Use that to scrape their email address from the LinkedIn profile. And then you can use Apollo to scrape the email. There's so many different tools that scrape email addresses off LinkedIn. So use one of those tools. There's free versions and paid versions. Just use a free tool. Scrape the email addresses and cold email them manually, one by one. You could do it in bulk, but I don't think you're probably trying to do bulk right now. And then the other option, the final option that I'd recommend, which there's a reason it's the final option because it's not the best way, but you would look out for ads that these guys that teach you how to close deals, look for their ads like Cole Gordon or this guy right here. Click on their ad, apply to be a closer, but the problem is you're applying with shitloads of other people, so they're going to want you to have more experience. It's going to be a tougher way to get a job. Now you could also, in passing, I want to mention, you could become a setter, which is someone that sets the calls, and then instead of being an inbound closer, but setters normally get paid almost like half as much as a closer. So it's not as lucrative of a gig, but it is easier to get that role. So now that I think about it, the whole video, you could apply to becoming a setter too. So you could hit up these business owners like, hey, I'm looking for a setting position. I don't have any experience, but I know how to set calls based on this. I learned this on this. I don't really teach how to set calls, but I might in the future. But I would go find a YouTube video that teaches you how to set calls. It's really not that hard though. Setting calls is basically you're going to go and DM people on Facebook with your Facebook account for your client, on your client's behalf. Get a conversation going, and then get them over to the closer. It's easier to get a role for a setter. Most setters don't want to stay setters. They want to become inbound closers. That's why I try not to push setters. But you can become a setter and make a full-time income as a setter as well. You just will not. You make like a half to a third amount a closer will make. But most setters become inbound closers, so it's a great foot in the door. If you don't feel confident getting an inbound closing role, then become a setter first, and then become an inbound closer. So those are the ways I would get my first high-ticket closing client. Remember, you only need one of them. It's not like you need a bunch of them. And then what you want to do is, before you get the client, brush up on my sales script. There's a YouTube video link in my description. I'll put it in this video, teaching you how to close high-ticket deals, the exact script, how it should be formatted. And if you want to practice your script, one of the good groups to get involved is Inbound Closer Accelerator. I don't know if you have to pay to get in, but you could just try to apply to get in. You probably do have to pay the $100. They have a $100 course, which if you want to skip that, you can just come into my group and we'll practice in there. Like, you'll find other people that have the same interest. I'll even help you get in touch with them, and then you can practice with each other the call scripts. Practice on each other. But yeah, I hope you found massive value in this video. Remember, you only need one client to make $10,000 to $30,000 a month as an inbound closer. Even if you make $5,000 a month with a shitty client, at least you're making $5K fully remote, right? And in parallel, you could be growing other things. You could be growing an email copywriting business. You could be growing a course or coaching business in parallel. You don't have to do one thing and one thing only. You can have multiple things going on. That's exactly what I did to sell over 7 figures on the internet of my clients' products and my own products. Also, book a free call below if you'd like me to handhold you to 6-7 figures a year. I have a coaching superiority mentorship program with over 40 plus training videos inside of it, teaching you everything that I did. You're going to literally just copy what I did with those training videos. We'll just hop on a quick call, see if it's a good fit for you. If it is, boom, you're in. You're learning all of my secrets and my skills, my blueprints, so that you can quit your job ASAP. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my future videos. Peace.